to our top story this morning. It's day 2 of jury selection in the trial of Gregory and Travis McMichael and William Bryan. Keitha Nelson anchors our coverage from Glenn County this morning. Good morning, Keitha.
Good morning, Jess. We are here in front of the Glenn County Courthouse in downtown Brunswick, where things are scheduled to start a little bit earlier this morning, right at about 8 o'clock, as opposed to yesterday. We saw things ramp up inside of the courtroom closer to 10. Now, here's a look at what the plan is looking ahead. So we know at about 1,000 or so people were sent summons to be a part of the jury pool. Of that 1,000, we saw 600 people that were told to report in yesterday. Of that 600, we know that 20 were brought here to the courthouse. And let's take a look at what happened on Monday during that session. 12 long hours, folks. The only people that were involved were the first 20 potential jurors that were called in. 12 of those dismissed were from the pool, and 20 different jurors will be called in to face similar questions for court today. Now, this is after potential jurors already filled out a 3-page questionnaire. It's still unclear exactly what will happen with the 8 remaining candidates from the first panel. Now, we do know that the state said that they are believing that this will wrap up by about November 19th or so. We're talking about the entire trial. As for the jury selection process, that is expected to take about 2 weeks. Renata DiGregorio, she had a chance to speak with one of our First Coast News legal analysts, LaFonda Middleton. She has a quick look at exactly what happened on day 1, some of the key points, things that you'll want to know. Good morning, Renata.
Good morning, Keitha. Our First Coast News legal analyst expects this all to continue to be very tedious. She says that jury selection is not something that can be rushed. These are the people who are going to decide a verdict. So before that, they are going through and looking for any bias, which takes time.
Most attorneys, and myself included, believe that jury selection is one of the most crucial parts of the case.
First Coast News legal analyst LaFonda Middleton says the process of jury selection will not be rushed.
So you want to make sure that you have spent a lot of time vetting, so to speak, these potential jurors. You want to know what their biases are. They may not even know what their biases are until you ask those pointed questions.
At the end of the day Monday, potential jurors face questions that were being hammered out in the morning, like whether they think a Confederate flag is a racist symbol, a question the judge said he would allow defense attorneys to ask. The judge is not allowing the defense to ask potential jurors if they're concerned about their safety or livelihoods if they're picked for the case, agreeing with the state that that could potentially rule out everyone.
What stands out to me the most is the McMichael's attorneys agreeing to stand in solidarity pretty much throughout the duration of the trial. They will agree together on what strikes they want to use on each potential juror.
Middleton expects jury selection to last at least a week. Other attorneys believe it may take longer. Going forward, she says to expect a lot of kind of the same that we saw from day 1. People really tediously going through each potential juror and looking for any bias. Live in Brunswick, Georgia, Renata DiGregorio, First Coast News, on your side.
Thanks for that, Renata. Now, in a case like this, you're going to see a lot happening outside of the courtroom. Just to give you an idea of what happens in this area in downtown Brunswick, where Renata is right now on the other side of the courtroom, that's where you normally see demonstrators converge pretty early in the morning. We're going to give you a look at that later on as well. What they do pretty much is get together. You're going to hear a lot of chanting. That happened yesterday for several hours on end. What we also saw were a group of clergymen coming together in prayer. And I had a chance to talk with some of them. They tell me that it's about 50 or so people within the clergy, all unified. Pretty much they want to set the tone for this trial. They prayed and sang over things. Now, the plan, they say, is to stay here for the duration of this case. We also saw demonstrators from as far away as Missouri, Chicago, and Atlanta right outside of the Glenn County Courthouse. Now, Glenn County Sheriff Neil Jump talked to us. He says he is confident the sheriff's office has made every precaution to make sure the demonstrations remain peaceful. That is the goal in all of this.
Community leaders, the family members, they have all said that they want this to go fair, to go right, and without any missteps of anybody coming in or that are here.
We will continue to follow what is going on inside and outside of the courtroom here in Glynn County, right outside of the Glynn County Courthouse throughout the duration of this trial. And you can catch it all online on our First Coast News app. Don't forget to download that app free of charge in your app store, or simply go to firstcoastnews.com. Katie, Jess, I've got to tell you, this is something that is really just polarizing this entire town. Folks are coming out here in support, pretty much, it seems, from people we've spoken with, in support of the Ahmaud Arbery family. They are here, they say, for justice. We're going to keep you posted on what happens today as day 2 continues in the jury selection process. Live out here in Glynn County, I'm Keitha Nelson, First Coast News on your side.
All right, Keitha, thank you.